Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Ministry of Education and Partners COVID-19 Teaching by Radio program. The Ministry of Education and Partners COVID-19 Teaching by Radio program is a 30-minute radio intervention support program that is meant to provide continuous instruction to keep you academically engaged during this stay-at-home period, as well as preparing you, our 6th, 9th, and 12th graders for the pending Liberia Primary School Certificate Exam, Liberia Junior High School Certificate Exam, and West Africa Senior Secondary Certificate Exam when the time comes. Also, in addition to this academic support, the program is meant to provide psychosocial support for learners, teachers, and parents, and also tips on how you as parents and teachers can provide support to your students and children at home. Now, let's join our teacher for today's lesson.
Hello, learners. This is your language arts team, Madia Mensah, Florence Allen Jones, and Hassan Bangura Sr. Our subject today is literature in English, and the topic is African poetry, and the poem is Piano and Drums by Gabriel Okara. Please take your pencil, pen, and copybook and get ready for today's lesson. Again, welcome and let's learn. Our lesson objectives. By the end of the lesson, learners will be able to analyze the poem, identify the setting and its symbolism, and make connections to daily life from the text. What is a poem? A poem is a work of literature that uses the sounds and rhythms of a language to evoke deeper significance than the literal meanings of the words. A poem uses literary devices such as imagery, symbolism, meter, rhythm, as well as figurative language which appeals to the senses, similes, metaphors, personification, etc., to impact the literary work. Now, please listen carefully as I read the poem. Piano and Drums by Gabriel Okara. When at the break of day at a riverside, I hear the jungle drums telegraphing the mystic rhythm, urgent, raw, like bleeding flesh, speaking of primal youth and the beginning. I see the panther ready to pounce, the leopard snarling about to leap, and the hunters crouch with spears poised. And my blood ripples, turns torrent, topples the years, and at once I'm in my mother's lap is suckling. At once I'm walking simple paths with no innovations, rugged, fashion with the naked warmth of hurrying feet and grooving hearts in green leaves and wild flowers pulsing. Then I hear a wailing piano solo, speaking of complex ways in tear-furrowed concerto of faraway lands and new horizons with coaxing diminuendo, counterpoint crescendo, but lost in the labyrinth of its complexities, it ends in the middle of a phrase at a dagger point. And I'm lost in the morning mist of an age at a riverside keep, wandering in the mystic rhythm of jungle drums and the concerto. That was the first reading of the poem Piano and Drums. I'm going to read the poem a second time. Please listen carefully. Piano and Drums by Gabriel Okara. When at the break of day at a riverside, I hear the jungle drums telegraphing the mystic rhythm, urgent roar, like bleeding flesh, speaking of primal youth and a beginning. I see the panther ready to pounce, the leopard snarling about to leap, and the hunters crouch with spears poised. And my blood ribbles, turns torrent, topples the years, and at once I'm in my mother's lap is suckling. At once I'm walking simple paths with no innovations, rugged, fashioned with the naked warmth of hurrying feet and grouping hearts, in green leaves and wild flowers pulsing. Then I hear a wailing piano solo, speaking of complex ways in tear-furrowed concerto, of faraway lands and new horizon with coaxing diminuendo, counterpoint, crescendo, but lost in the labyrinth of its complexities, it ends in the middle of a phrase at a dagger point. And I lost in the morning mist of an age at a riverside keep, wandering in the mystic rhythm of jungle drums and the concerto. That was the second reading of the poem. The poem has 4 stanzas. As always, there is content vocabulary which we will ask you to write down. 1. Telegraphing. Telegraphing. 2. Mystic. Mystic. 3. Raw. Raw. 4. Primal. Primal. 5. Pounce. Pounce. 6. Crouch. Crouch. 7. Poised. Poised. 8. Ripples. Ripples. 9. Torrent. Torrent. 10. Topples. Topples. 11. Suckling. Suckling. 12. Innovations. Innovations. 13. Rugged. Rugged. 14. Fashioned. Fashioned. 15. Groping. Groping. 16. Pulsing. Pulsing. 17. Wailing. Wailing. 18. Solo. Solo. 19. Furrow. Furrow. 20. Concerto. Concerto. 21. Horizons. Horizons. 22. Coaxing. Coaxing. 23. Diminuendo. Diminuendo. 24. Counterpoint. Counterpoint. 25. Crescendo. Crescendo. 26. Labyrinth. Labyrinth. 27. Mist. Mist. 28. Phrase. phrase. 29, dagger point. Dagger point.
Coronavirus spreads via droplets. When the person coughs or sneezes, the droplets land on surfaces and are picked up on the hands of others and spread further. People catch the virus when they touch their infected hands to their mouth, nose, or eyes. It follows that the single most important thing you can do to protect yourself is keep your hands clean by washing them frequently with soap and water or hand sanitizer.
These are all words that are in the poem. We will now give you 2 web links that you can use to determine the meaning of your words from context clues, or use www.dictionary.com to define your words to give you a better understanding. Also, www.literarydevices.com so that you can understand what literary devices are and to help you find the meanings. Our activity for today is to analyze this poem. In order to analyze the poem, first think about what the poet is saying by comparing stanzas 1 and 3. In order to analyze the poem, first think about what the poet is saying by comparing stanzas 1 and 3. Where is the setting of the poem as in time and place? Where is the setting of the poem as in time and place? You will find that information in lines 1 and 2. There, the time, the break of day or early morning, and the place, the riverside. Which 2 instruments is the poet comparing? Stanza 1, line 2 tells you jungle drums, and stanza 3, line 1 tells you it's the piano. So the 2 instruments the poet is comparing are the jungle drums and the piano. What does each instrument represent? The jungle drums represent traditional African culture, and the piano represents the Western world. Describe the memories induced by each instrument. Describe the memories induced by each instrument. The jungle drums gives images of hunting in a primal lifestyle, simple life with natural beauty. The drums gives images of hunting in a primal lifestyle, simple life with natural beauty. The piano, on the other hand, is seductive but very complicated. The piano, on the other hand, is seductive but very complicated. Now, is the conflict between the 2 cultures ever resolved? Let's look at stanza 4. In order to find out whether this conflict was resolved, let's look at stanza 4, where it reads, "And I lost in the morning mist of an age at a riverside keep, wandering in the mystic rhythm of jungle drums and the concerto." So what do you think, learners? Is the conflict between the two cultures ever resolved? No, unfortunately not. The conflict was never resolved. Now, from which point of view or perspective is the poem narrated? From which point of view or perspective is the poem narrated, and how do you know this? The poem is narrated from the first person point of view. And how is this evidenced? This is evidenced by the use of the first person personal pronoun, I. Great job, learners. We have analyzed the poem together, and before we give out your homework assignment, please listen to some help information. For help on your homework assignment, you can go to www.youtube.com or www.itsmyschoollibrary.wordpress.com. You can listen to the audio of the poem or get the words and reread the poem. When you have done so, please complete the following. 1. Discuss the poem's title. 1. Discuss the poem's title. 2. Examine the symbolism in the poem. 2. Examine the symbolism in the poem. 3. What is the attitude of the poet towards the two cultures in the poem? What is the attitude of the poet towards the two cultures in the poem? 4. Identify one example of the following. A. Poetic effect. B. Simile. C. Assonance. D. Personification. And E. Metaphor. Thank you, learners. Please continue to study until we meet next time. If you have any questions or need clarification on today's lesson, please text it to the following number: 0775 591 582. Once again, this is your language arts team: Madia Mensah, Florence Allen Jones, and Hassan Bangura Sr. Thank you.